कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारि यमुनातीरावनचारि जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधव राधे जय गौरनीताय जय गौरनीताय जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद गौर प्रेमानंदे जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार स्तोत्र सतत श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार स्तोत्र सतत श्रीमद् डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की इताई गौर प्रेमानंदे All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to all glories Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Bhaktir Bhavati Naistaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 60th chapter, text 52. This chapter is entitled Krishna teases Rukmini. 52. Ye mam bhajante dampatye tapasya vrata charyaya kamatmano aparvargesham mohitam mama mayaya. Ye mam bhajante dampatye tapasya vrata charyaya kamatmano aparvargesham mohita mama mayaya. Imam bhajante dampatye tapasa vrata charyaya kamatmano apavargesham mohita mama mayaya. Please chant. Imam bhajante dampatye tapasa vrata charyaya kamatmano apavargesham mohita mama mayaya. Emam bhajante dampatye tapasa vratacharyaya kamatmano vagisham mohita mama mayaya. Emam bhajante dampatye tapasa vratacharyaya atmana pavargesham mohita mama mayaya. Thank you very much. What word mean? Ye, those who, mam, me, bhajante, worship, dampatye, for status in household life, tapasya, by penance, vrata, of vows, acharyaya, by the execution of, and by the execution, Kamatmana, lusty by nature. Apavarga, of liberation. Isham, the controller. Mohita, bewildered. Mama, my. Mayaya, by the illusionary material energy. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Although I have power to award a spiritual liberation, lusty persons worship me with their penance and vows in order to get my blessings for their mundane family life. Such persons are bewildered by my illusionary energy. Purport. The word dampatya indicates the relationship between husband and wife. Lusty and bewildered persons worship the Supreme Lord to enhance this relationship, though they know He can be freed from their useless attachment to temporary things. Om Ajnanatimidandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshorulmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ruta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Savrijatam Sahagananatam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Savitasham Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namustate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuga Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhuga Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Antakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So today we are discussing about this verse. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord mentions 7th chapter, 16th verse. Chaturvida bhajante mam jnana sukrito arjuna artho artato jignasi jnanischa bharatascha va. O best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men being render devotional service unto me: the distressed and desire of the wealth, inquisitive, and he who is searching for the knowledge of Absolute. So, in this verse also, Lord Krishna is mentioning that he can award the people spiritual liberation, but foolish, mundane, materialistic people, husband and wife, especially relationship, so they just worship him for the sake of enjoying the material life. And for that sake, they are ready to undergo austerity. They are ready to take vows. So here it is mentioned, here in this verse it is mentioned, although I have a power to award spiritual liberation, you know, just Krishna is giving that, although I have a power, he is again reassuring in this verse that, Sarvadharman Parityatya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Just I am here, if you just surrender, I am here to protect you. But at the same time, foolish mundane people, they worship me for just the sake of enjoying their family life. Though they know that such persons are bewildered by my illusionary energy. So Krishna mentioned in the here that illusionary energy of Krishna is very very strong. One cannot overcome it because Mama Maya Duratya Daivi Esha Gunamahi Mama Maya Duratya. It is very very difficult to overcome. But people they enjoy the same thing. Punarcharvita Charvananam. As Srila Prabhupada quotes this verse, the material enjoyment life, it is like having chewed again. The material enjoyment, material life, it's like you got to know all the facilities of life to enjoy family life, to enjoy business, whatever you think of family life, relationship between husband and wife. So these enjoyment will not give you a real happiness. They are just chewing the chew. You should understand that. Otherwise, we will be caught up in this same old relationship, which is temporary, which is not permanent, and which is distress, and it is not satisfaction. So, lusty persons worship me, Supreme Lord, enhance their relationship. As we know, husband is attached to the wife, wife is as attached to the husband. What happens eventually? Then next life, um, this process of taking a next birth, they will undergo severe punishment, and they will exchange each other's body. Like if a husband is attached to the wife, and next life he will become a wife, and if a wife is as attached to the husband, then wife will become husband. No, it's like a changing the roles, shifting the roles, because they get the body. That's what Krishna says. Yam yam vapi smaranam bhavam jadatyanti kalevaram. At the end of your life, whatever you think, you will attain that body. Husband is attached to the wife. He is thinking of always his wife. Then eventually he will get the next body as a woman. Similarly, that wife is also attached to husband. Okay. Then next life he will get a husband body of the man. So in that they will undergo a cycle of birth and death. But they don't know the real problems of life. That's why they are thinking that this is an enjoyment. The real problem of life is janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshate. The real problems of life is birth, death, old age, and disease. Nobody wants these things, but material life, material energy is forced. So nobody wants to have disease, but disease is eventually coming up. So Krishna mentions here that you can just free from this useless attachment and temporary things. Just worship me. In the Bhagavad Gita, as I started verse is Chaturvida bhajante mam gnanino sukrito arjuna arto artha jignase gnanina bharatashrabha. So out of the four kinds of people, distress and inquisitive desire of wealth, Krishna likes who is searching for the absolute knowledge. You know, it is he wants the persons who are okay. He accommodates the persons who are distressed, who are desire of wealth, who are inquisitive, but he appreciates them. Unlike the miscreants, these adherents of regulative principles of scripture, they are called sukritina. No, unlike the previous verse, it says that what you called 7.615. It says that namami dushruto moda prapadyante naradama maya aprita gnana ashrim bhavam ashrita. So those miscreants who are grossly foolish, who are lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake in of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. At least Krishna is mentioning that rather than not surrendering unto Krishna and being in illusion, just surrender unto me. But among those who surrender unto me, the best person who was inquisitive, sorry, best person who was search of absolute knowledge. So, out of these four classes of men, those who are sometimes distressed, those who are in need of money, those who are in sometimes inquisitive, those who are sometimes search for the knowledge, absolute truth, the person who the person come to the Supreme Lord for a devotional service under different conditions, these are not pure devotees because they have some aspiration to fulfill the exchange of for the devotional service. Pure devote Pure devotional service is without aspiration and without desire for material profit, as it mentioned in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, like Anya Bilachita Shunyam Gnana Karma Dhyanavritam Anukulene Krishnanunsilanam Bhakti Ruttama. One who renders transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably with the devotional desire for material profit or gain, though the fruitive activities are philosophical speculation. So, these four kinds of people, at least they are coming. But who is the perfect person? Who will render the devotional service with favorable loving. And we have many examples. Those who are in distress, they surrender. Those who are in need of wealth, they surrender. And those who are inquisitive of knowledge, they surrender. But those who are wanting absolute knowledge, they surrender. First one, we see that those who are desire for wealth. Who is an example? Dhruva Maharaj. He wants the kingdom basically. He's a wealth, opulent. He surrendered unto the Lord. But the desire get purified. He got purified. The distress, King Gajendra, he was also caught up in the crocodiles. Then he was distressed. He was praying. He was also surrendered, and he got liberation. And this he that Krishna awards equal. Krishna awards according to their surrenderness. Ye yatamam prapadyante tam sitaiva bhajamyaham. Krishna awards their reciprocation. How do you reciprocate to the Lord? In that He reciprocates to you. But out of them, one who surrenders fully with the knowledge and render devotional service with a loving, then he is most dear to the Lord. Just as we see here in this case, um, Rukmini Devi, she surrenders unto the Lord because she knows who is the Supreme Lord, because he has absolute knowledge. And having, then Krishna awards them, Krishna gives them liberation. So we see that in this verse, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments that Lord condemns materialistic devotees, those who are for the sake, for the household, enjoyment, happiness, and in the material marriage life, with the prayers like many, may my husband gives me happiness, may my wife gives me happiness, and worship me, the giver of prema, and like these are all the based on the bodily concept of life. It is said in the like in the Shastras, one of the prominent Acharya, Adi Shankaracharya, is one of the Advaita philosopher. He says that in his prayers, in the Bhaja Govindam song, oh foolish man, if you are attached, like you are attached to your household life, you are attached to the wife, or you, if then when you died, wife will also not able to bear you, see you in the dead body. Even wife will say, take this dead body and bury him or burn him. you know, Even wife also doesn't want the dead body of a husband. Similarly with a husband, when a wife dies, no, husband also doesn't want dead body to be lying in the home. Immediately buried him, burn him, whatever, because they will also go away. Because that's kind of a, when soul leaves a body, that kind of a detachment you will develop naturally, because the body is made up of all blood, flesh, urine, and stool. But at the same time, when a body leaves the soul, um, nobody wants to stay with that body because it decomposes, it starts smelling bad. So you are loving this body, so called body, but Adi Shankaracharya told that mentioned that husband dies immediately, wife says that okay, take him away. There is no use. Though husband is so much attached, wife is so much attached. That the point of attachment is soul. As long as soul is existing in the body, then we have so much relationship, and we say hi, hello, how are you? When as long soul is there in the body, when soul leaves the body, bye, bye to the body. And Jiva Goswami also comments same thing. Having praised her devotion filled with love for her husband, in order to emphasize this, he criticized the materialistic who worship him for their love in the material world. So he mentions, he compares, Lord Krishna compares, you have so much love towards me, so much attached towards me. That's the true love. Whereas the materialistic people, they have a false love, they are illusion, they are bewildered by my energy. So he criticizes and he emphasizes the attachment of materialistic people. So the purpose of the criticism, he criticized the purpose of the household life of both husband and wife. The couples who worship me by repeatedly perform vratas, austerity according to their swadharma, with a great attachment, with the hearts absorbed in the materialistic enjoyment, are completely bewildered by my maya, though I have given of the prema. This refers that what was said that about the Lord is special manifestation of. So this is special gift to the humanity in general. So he is a giver of the prema, and you are asking something materialistic, which is not insignificant. As Dhruva Maharaj mentions that you know you are the giver of the you are the possessor of everything. You have all opulence of whole world. You are the giver of the diamond, but I have asking which is insignificant and very very much not much value, the pieces of glass. It is just like going to the richest person asking him a penny. You are making your efforts to go to that person. That it is not an easy. Dhruva Maharaj underwent severe penance, austerity. Here also materialistic people, they are undergoing so much austerity, the penance, but asking which is useless and temporary and not satisfaction. So it's same thing. Krishna mentions here that mundane materialistic people, they worship him for the temporarily useless things. But you should know that you should ask a person what is his capacity. Then you are underestimating the capacity of a person of the giver. He has ability to give millions of dollars, but you are asking him a penny. It is insult for him in one sense. So we should understand the person in full knowledge, and we should ask something which will benefit for entire our life, or entire know our human form of life. We should never take. We should understand what is the problem of human life. Then we should ask something which is beneficial permanently, not temporarily. The temporary things are always doesn't give satisfaction. Sometimes it gives, sometimes it doesn't give. It always flickering, and it is always unsatisfied. So you should have control over senses before asking anything, and then you should know who is the supreme lord, and you should know what is the ultimate happiness for us, because materialistic life will give you the all kinds of facility, all kinds of all kinds of enjoyment facility, but you will be not satisfied unless until you connect yourself to Krishna or practicing of sadhana. So This is what its overall mentions. The last thing Jiva Goswami mentioned that the woman who, O Lord, the woman who desires worshipping of your lotus feet with all desires fulfilled, you also give the results of the woman who worship with a material desire, because then the result is finished. She will suffer. So ultimately, if somebody gives you $1,000, you will enjoy as much as the $1,000 are there with you. You know, after $1,000 is done, then you will say again you are on the street. Correct? Like you go to the hotel, five-star hotel, and you can enjoy as much as you can have your money in your pocket. When money is become zero, then hotel manager will say, or okay sir, your balance is done, please walk away. That's what it is, material life. You get rewards of material desires, but you should know this is temporary. Permanent, see, it's not an bad thing to have a happy life. It's not a bad thing to have an enjoyment life, no blissful life. But it's a natural desire for the soul, have a blissful, happy, joyful life. It's a natural tendency of the soul's characters, but not in this material world. It will you will get in the spiritual world. In spiritual world, you will be blissful, knowledge, and happiness. That's a permanent place. This is called Dukhalaya. So I just stop here and let's see any comments, questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for explaining the main point of the verse today. And it's an it's a interesting topic in a sense that it mentioned that people go to Krishna, pray for their family life. But I think if I dig deeper, it's not about other person. Family life is also my wife, my children, my house. It's not about other person. It is oriented with me being in the center. And but we should go to Krishna for to pray for other devotees. Instead of my friend should get this. Your servant should get this, and praying for others. And I was also trying to read more things about how to pray for other people, other devotees. Should I pray for their happiness, fulfillment, peace, serenity? Or should I pray that God give them, Krishna give them peace so that they can accept your will in their life? How so? If you can speak more about how
Yeah,
to pray for other people.
yeah. This is very nice comment. Like in I spoke just because what it is mentioned in the verse. Yeah, you. This is also another way of seeing that instead of being centered alive, instead of being selfish, selfless, we should not always be selfish. That okay, I need my I what are who are attached to me, I need their well-beings, they should be happy, I should be happy, my this father should be happy, my mother should be happy, my wife should be happy, my children should be happy. That is part one. But beyond that, higher level of praying is that what you mentioned, not being self-centered, selfless, that is higher level. Yeah, that is true. When you pray for your own self, Krishna may grant, because you are coming for the Krishna. Ultimately, you are not among the four people who are does not surrender, who are against the scriptures, but you are in the category of surrendering unto the Krishna, but for selfish motivation. Like Dhruva Maharaj, what did he pray for? Did he pray for his father, his pray for mother, or did he actually he should have prayed for his mother welfare in one sense, because his mother also suffering from a long time. But he prayed for something which is only self-centered. Yeah, that is a good one. But good thing to pray for self. But at the same time, the next level of praying is, as you mentioned, like let their devotees be happy. Let my neighbor will be happy. Let my society be happy. Let others devotee let this person be happy. That is the second. That is highest. Second above this prayer. The self being going from self-centered to selfish, selfish-centered prayers to selfless. You know, selfish prayers are like this: my mine. Selfless is about others. So how do you get that from? How do you travel from selfish to selfless? By having the knowledge. You see the suffering of the soul. That's why Srila Prabhupada, Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, in one sense, he was happy and satisfied in Vrindavan taking sannyas. He would have said that, I'm my life is successful. I got a guidance. I got blessings from my spiritual master, and I have a guru. Just chanting 16 rounds or doing other things. He would have preached there in Vrindavan. Prabhupada being selfless, he all the way traveled. Of course, he got instruction from spiritual master, go to the Western world and preach. That is also in that also, you know, Prabhupada came here and he made few disciples. In one sense, he fulfilled the desires of spiritual master. Why did he travel around the world 14 times? Why did he establish? That is selfless service to the human society. So, how did Prabhupada do that? Because he has a love for Krishna. When you have a love for Krishna, a tremendous love for Krishna, you show that love to everybody. It is just simple thing. I buy this laptop. I buy something. I feel very happy. I feel very satisfied. What do I do then next? I share with you. I share with my friends. I share with my other family members. I got this one. It's so nice. It's working awesome. I start advertising that. You should also try. You should also buy this one. Same with the love for Krishna also. If you are experiencing so much, if you are experiencing this is a real thing, then you got to share. When you that means you are why you are sharing, because souls in this material world are suffering. You can't see that suffering. This soul is suffering because he doesn't know that. And that's why you are praying. If you are not seeing suffering of other living entity, then you are selfish. Like Jiva Goswami mentioned, Jive Daya Krishna Prem. You should have a daya for this living entity and Krishna Prem. When you have a Krishna Prem, then always you pray selfless. You don't pray for yourself then. Like just like Haridas Thakur in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when he was whipping, when he was beaten by 21 markets, what he was his prayers. He was praying for the people who was hitting him. Those two guards were hitting him. 21 marketplace. He was praying for them because he knows that he has so much compassion for them because they are suffering. They're just because of their suffering. He's praying for them, and they themselves got shocked and they themselves got bewildered, and they were in anxiety. Oh, Haridas Thakur, after nobody will survive 21 marketplaces. They would have died in two marketplaces or three marketplaces. I see that you are surviving 21 places, marketplaces. That's still you are surviving. If you are alive, then our life in danger. We will be dying. Then Haridas Thakur, which is with his mystic yogic power, he stopped breathing. Then they decided he died. Of course, eventually he got up and again he did something. So my point is here that a person who has developed the love for the Lord, he can only pray for the Lord. He can only pray for the other living entities. A person who has not developed, he will sometimes he prays and sometimes he doesn't pray. That he doesn't see his suffering as suffering. He see other suffering as suffering. As a true Vaishnava, he says that a true Vaishnava feels like this. When others suffering, take it as his personal. When he's suffering, he doesn't take it as a personal. Whereas materialistic people, when your enemy is happy, you are suffering. When your enemy is suffering, you will be happy. That's like. I hope this comments suits you. Okay. Any other things? Mataji has something.
Um, this verse is taking if you were relating it to the verse you'd read from Bhagavad Gita. So in that verse, there was a listing of the persons that come to Krishna. And in this particular verse, um, there's attention that's been drawn to persons that are aspiring to have more comforts or more material comforts, their family life improving in particular. So the interesting thing is that in the verse from Bhagavad Gita, the category of persons that look for liberation or knowledge, um, it's put in a separate category from those that are looking, let's say, for material wealth. But in this verse, those two categories are broken down into one. That the person that's looking for wealth, comfort, understands that Krishna gives liberation. So it seems doubly worse because with knowledge, one is making the choice not to go the path of searching for the absolute truth. So I just thought it was interesting that here there's that the two are put together.
Yeah, Krishna says that here. No, only foolish people, they just ask me for which is useless and temporary. He catches that word, like from among the four people who surrenders unto me, he is the best one. In this also, if you carefully read again and again, you will get that point. In the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna mentions that uh, four kinds of people, Chaturvida bhajanti mam, Gnana Sukrito Arjuna, Artho Arthato Jignasi, Gnanina Bharatashava. So, in this fourth kind of people, so one has to transcend all this before one can come to the stage of pure devotional service. This is a purport last line. So, one has to transcend this. The same thing, this today's verse also, Lord Krishna is saying one has to transcend this material happiness between the relationship between the husband and wife, enjoyment. One has to transcend this and take up the service of the Lord and understand He is the supreme goal. He is the ultimate giver of happiness. He is the giver of love of Godhead. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That you should understand that. So to improve that, we need knowledge. We need detachment. So as long as we doesn't have a purified intelligence, we won't pray for that. We just people in the material world, they pray for only temporary things. So devotees and transcendental uh, devotees, they just know what is absolute truth, what is ultimate goal of life. But people in the materialistic life, they are attached to the fruits of their activities. They just, I perform this vrata or this vow or this tapasya for sake of enjoyment. All the demons like Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, they just underwent severe austerity, but ultimately they want to enjoy this material world. But because their knowledge is not matured, and mundane people are also same thing. For need of money, for free from material desires, we should have knowledge. And they fully understand that material remuneration has nothing to do with spiritual improvement, then you become a pure devotee. when they fully understand that. I hope this will stop here. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.